Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Our Talks. Anthony. Today we're going to have a insightful conversation. For those that are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to your well-being. However, in today's conversation, we'll be talking about how to cultivate a positive self-image and overcoming body image struggles. I want to take in consideration that this is going to focus on strategies for us to be able to improve our overall way that we think and how we perceive ourselves, breaking down that negative self-sabotage, developing a more healthier, a more compassionate way that we're able to develop that relationship in regards to our appearance, and overall, like I said, boost our confidence and cultivate that positive that image, right? So I want to take in consideration because we're constantly in a world that we live in when it tells us that what we should look like, what we should be like in regards to social media, magazines, different types of images on the news that they post out there, right? There's just so many various images of, our bodies and how that make us feel, right? And even loving the way that we feel and loving our bodies is very important and very essential, right? So I want to say, even for myself, once upon a time, I was a little inadequate, I was out of shape, I wasn't looking well apart, whatever. But at the end of the day, I realized that it's about myself, it's about what I tell myself, right? And it's about how I build my body up, and not being perfect, but trying to figure out ways where I can able to improve. So as you put energy and you put the effort into your life, everything starts to just kind of click. So you really got to take in consideration to make those proper adjustments. Try your best to develop and give yourself that energy that you need back. You know what I mean? We're hanging with friends, we're providing for family, we're doing all these other things, we're working, right? But we still got to be able to have that personal development for ourselves too, or be able to improve. So before I really dive into things, I really had to put that in there because, like I said, we really got to look at ourselves. You know what I mean? We really got to look at the way we're moving. We gotta look at the way that how much energy we give into scrolling and all that type of stuff like that. But what about ourselves, right? I mean, so I really want us to take the acceptance and accountability and then try to figure out proactive ways we can get things better to be able to feel much better. But at the end of the day too, you gotta look in that mirror, you gotta build yourself up, you really gotta positivity, you feel me? Positivity, you feel me? And we'll be able to navigate through. But in regards to our first segment, let's talk about understanding body image struggles off rip. So key concept we're gonna say is, what is body image off rip? So body image refers to how we think in regards to how we perceive ourselves and how we feel about our physical appearance. Not everybody may feel good about themselves, but we gotta take in consideration that there is factors out there that shape the way that we think, such as media, right? Societal standards out there, and internal factors like our emotions, beliefs in our experiences. And one thing too is culture. I want to say as well, culture, everybody's family is raised different, so that also is something that is considered in regards to how we think about our body image. Next component we're going to talk about is going to be the impact of negative body image. And negative body image can lead to mental issues like anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. It can also contribute to unhealthy behaviors such as extreme dieting or excessive exercise. So yeah, we really got to realize the body's the one that is the control center in regards to how it snatches, how it's able to respond. Even the situations where you may take a medication or you may put something in your body that, and it's not jacking all that food, or it may spit it back out. You may be throwing it up. So we have to take in consideration enough's enough. Balance is balance. Make sure you're seeking your doctor, and making sure that you're not doing too much, right? So when we're doing negative things or you're trying to, there's no shortcuts, Like you're trying to drink these supplements because you think it's gonna cut the fat. It's just, come on now, y'all. You know what I mean? We really gotta take in consideration on the process, right? There's a process to everything. We gotta do things the right way and the healthy way. Next, we're going to talk about the social media effect, right? So research shows that the exposure of social media and editing those images are often worsened by the body dissatisfaction, especially in comparison is involved, right? So when you're comparing yourself to others off rip, I want to say that there's jealousy, envy, and some of that like grief involved that when those emotions. We have to really stay in our lane, mind our business, and focus on how we can improve ourselves, right? And like I said, social media, it has the way to do the editing and do the Photoshop and stuff like that stuff. So just because you're seeing someone look a certain type of way doesn't mean it's the way it is that you see it. You know what I mean? It's not the truth. It's not the reality. It's not real. You heard? So I really want to take that in consideration of the comparison and how this negatively, gives us the self-sabotage of that body shaming that we need to really try to step away, avoid, and really got to figure out ways we're able to do things that are more positive and conducive for our wellness and our well-being where we're trying to be, right? So moving forward, we're going to be talking about next segment is roots of negative body image, right? So let's dive into the history. Let's really dive into what's really going on, right? So key concept number one is media and cultural influence. Like I said, everybody's culture is different. So we have cultural standards of beauty often define worth by appearance, leaving little room for diversity. Right, so these beauty ideals can be unrealistic and narrow, focusing on youth, focus on slimness, and focus on the masculine type of look. So it's just everybody has their own way that they perceive things, the way that they want to be. Go for that image, be the best person that you can be on the positive aspect of things. But at the end of the day is that there are these influences that definitely impact the way that there is negative body image. Next is going to be that family and peer influence, right? So comments about your parents in regards to your family, your peers, who's talking into your ear, they're still talking down upon you, or even when you're a kid and you're navigating and you just things may not be looking the way that you're looking as you're navigating through your teen years and you're going through puberty, right? So you have these influences from families and those peers, right? Throughout those formative years, significant on how you view your body, right? So like I said, I want you to take that in consideration too, because that definitely does impact you on a negative note. Next is going to be perfectionism, right? Some people out there, they want to make sure that their eyebrows is on point, like the hairline. I understand that we want to be on point. I mean, it just, and that ain't no problem, but it's just the perfectionism is an issue, right? So the pressure to achieve that you have a perfect body or feel perfect can lead to that over criticism, right? That self-sabotage, like I mentioned. So that self-criticism and the cycle of dissatisfaction. So when you're trying to be too perfect, it could just make you feel inadequate, because it's like, this ain't my body, ain't perfect. But you gotta realize that your body is perfect. It's perfect for you. It's for you. It's your body. You know what I mean? And you gotta be able to love and embrace that, right? Next is going to be personal experiences in that trauma, right? So we got to take in consideration of our past trauma, such as bullying. We got to take that in consideration, that trauma overall, and just or dieting history can just significantly take a role in regards to how we're shaping our bodies, how we deal with this struggle in regards to, negative body image, right? So there's various things. Look at your experiences, really kind of digest and really evaluate those things. It's uncomfortable to become comfortable. So I know if these emotions do come out, write this thing down. Talk to, like I said, a professional, peer support if possible. But like I said, we all go through this in some shape or form. But like I said, we have to discuss some of the, the cultural stuff and some of the information behind it, so we have some type of understanding in regards to how we're able to move forward, right? So when it comes to some insights as well, studies definitely do show that cultural messages about beauty can influence body image, with those who identify with a certain body standard more like to develop dissatisfaction, right? So like I said, when we're falling into what other people think about us, that's gonna affect us. You know what I mean? So we gotta think about what we think about ourselves, right? So everybody's different, everybody's coming from a different culture, but at the end of the day, you gotta still be able to embrace yourself and love yourself, and then you're going to be able to have that better body satisfaction, right? Positivity beats the negativity. And so I'm just letting you know that off the rip. You feel me? Next segment, we're going to be talking about practical strategies to overcome negative body image, right? So stick with me in regards to some tools, so we're going to be able to cultivate this positive, self-image. And as we're in this segment, we're going to start talking about affirmations. Start pouring into yourself. So I really want us to take in consideration that we got to break that negativity to give ourselves that positivity. So off rip, a challenge of negative thoughts, really going to be able to identify and reframe negative talk instead of, reinforcing that negative, flaws and that negative self-talk. We got to be able to embrace and kind of question ourselves, right? So what do I appreciate about my body? You know what I mean? What about the blessings? What about the strengths about your body, right? What can I celebrate about my body? You know what I mean? About yourself today. So really think about it, like I said, breaking down these negative thoughts for what that positive thoughts, and really embracing that. And then practicing this in regards to that cognitive reframing, by replacing those critical thoughts with neutral or positive ones, will be able to help us out, right? Number two is going to be practice self-compassion. This is really important in regards to, like I said, no one else out there is going to love us, so we're going to love ourselves. So we got to start pouring into ourselves on some self-care stuff, because this is not a joke. So excuse me, but that self-compassion is very essential. You know what I mean? So we got to be able to treat ourselves with kindness instead of criticizing ourselves and perceiving ourselves with those imperfections and looking at ways we're looking down upon ourselves and all that type of stuff. Practice speaking life into yourself, right? Just the same like the way you speak to a friend, the same way you treat a baby, you got to be able to treat yourself like that, right? Too, and build yourself up, right? So focus on the body, in regards to the you know, the way that you want to be able to see yourself and think about ways you're able to pour on yourself to be able to push yourself to get there, right? This is very essential, right? So this is speaking about respecting your body for what it is and what it does, not just how it looks. You got to be able to appreciate that. At least, can you walk? You feel me? Can you move? You feel me? Like, appreciate, you feel me? It's still function, you feel me? So don't beat yourself up. Push yourself up and rise yourself up and pour into yourself, and things will get better with that positive self compassion. Number 3 is going to be curate your media diet, right? So you're going to really be able to look at and evaluate those accounts of social media to promote, body, diversity in regards to loving yourself and seeing other images that are going to be able to help you on some healthier stuff, right? So do things that are going to help you and give you those affirmations as well, that motivational type of content, than looking at things that ain't even down, you feel me? So take social media breaks in addition to this too, to be able to reduce that exposure to body, shaming and that content overall, right? And just start doing things that are going to help you embrace yourself. So follow influences. But for me, I'm going to just be real with you, is just try your best to just reduce the social media as a whole, and be mindful and just have that self-awareness. That's just my thing, right? But overall, just pulling back to the video, is that you want to have that body positivity, that self-acceptance, and that kind of diversity and understanding and empathy, because everybody's different. Everybody's come from different things, and everybody's having different struggles, right? Some people are born, some people are on medication, some situations happen to them. So everybody is going through their own unique experience. So we have to mind ourselves and don't worry about what they got going on, and don't even that bullying stuff. I ain't really gonna get into all that. It's not acceptable. But like I said, we have to have compassion for ourselves, other people, and have understanding overall, right? Number 4 is gonna be talking about your body strength. So I really want us to, like I said, focus on what can we do. What can we do? You know what I mean? If we really want to be able to get where we want to be, what can we do? Walking, dancing, lifting, hugging, breathing. You know what I mean? Rather than which it looks like, we can do certain things to help us engage in activities to help our physical abilities and to get to where we want to be with our capabilities, right? So we gotta look at what we have. You know what I mean? Not just about what we look like. So number 5, we're gonna be talking about dress for comfort, not conformity. So stop looking at what other people do and competing and trying to spend all the money and that type of thing. And dress simple. Life is simple. Dress simple. Things will be simple with less stress. You feel me? So I really want to take into consideration on comfort, right? Because when we feel comfortable, we're able to really feel free. Our energy is different, right? Than really just feeling kind of just rigid and just you trying to fit in, right? So do what's best for you. So wear clothes that make you feel comfortable and confident, not those ones that fit society standards based off of other people's beauty expectations, right? What is your expectations? What do you like, right? So focus on outfits that shape and enhance how you feel inside, rather than just focusing on what other people, how it makes other people look, or how to make, what I mean? Like, you're just seeking that external validation. What about you? What about you? What about you? Mind your business. What about you? So, number 6, we're going to be talking about, journal and body affirmations. I really think it's really important for us to be in tune with ourselves, with our mind, with our body. So here and there, I think it's really important for us to write down. This is my real journal right here, but I put in pain for, like I said, you really want to understand how that self-awareness. So keeping a journal is going to be able to help you reflect on moments of self-doubt, you know what I mean? And you're going to be able to write those body, positive affirmations and just embrace yourself over the course in regards to, like I said, having that journaling, right? So writing affirmations like, for instance, my body is worth of love and respect, or I am beautiful just as I am. So you got to embrace yourself throughout the process, and, benefits will begin to happen. In regards to research insights, we have found that when it comes to self-compassion and body image, studies show that self-compassion can reduce body dissatisfaction and promote a healthier relationship with our bodies. In addition to body neutrality, we found that practicing body neutrality, which focusing on respecting our bodies for its functioning rather than just appearances, is linked to improved well-being and reduce body shame. So like I said, we got to focus on ourselves. We got to embrace our body. We got to focus on ourselves. We got to respect ourselves and have more positivity in regards to that self-compassion. This will be able to help us really embrace ourselves for really who we are and what our body can do for us. Number 4, in regards to our next segment, we're going to be talking about building long-term body positivity, right? So these daily practices are going to be able to help us maintain that, positive, self-image in regards to looking at ourselves in that light that, you know what I mean? the higher power does, not God, you heard. And we're really gonna be able to embrace, you know what I mean, ourselves and really love ourselves, you know what I mean? And that's just the way it's supposed to be. So like I said, avoid how other people perceive you, and you're gonna be able to really perceive yourself the way that you perceive yourself and look at yourself in that light, and everything's gonna happen, right? So in regards to our first segment, number one is gonna be daily body affirmation. So like I said, we can start our day with body positivity in regards to how we look at ourselves. We brush our teeth in the morning. We look at ourselves in the mirror, getting ourselves done. Talk to yourself. Boost yourself up. You know what I mean? Strengthen. Get school, give you the resilience of that uniqueness, embracing yourself. But two is going to be nourish your body, take care of yourself, eat good, feel good, you know what I mean? Honor your body, right? You really want to be able to focus on healthy benefits of, you know, the food rather than just the impact of the weight or the appearance. Really eat good, you know what I mean? Eat the things and whatever you put in your body is gonna how you're gonna feel, right? So do is right, you know, feel me? Number three, we're gonna be talking about surround yourself with that support, right? So connect yourself with other people that's on, you know what I mean, on that journey, or that's gonna uplift you or give you that encouragement. So I appreciate you for who you are. Hang around people who are there for, you know what I mean, you for you feel me, not just how you look and just there for your appearance. One thing I can say for me, I felt like, you know what I mean, in my teenage years is that, you know, I felt like you're like a mannequin type of thing sometimes, you know what I mean? But on the back end, it's like people should be able to see who you are for who you are, you feel me, not just based off how you look. So I'm happy I was able to provide that like example. But I think it's really important for us to, like I said, be around people in these different communities who are able to participate in activities to be able to encourage that body, you know, and that self-acceptance, in addition to that body image of who we are, not just how we look. So number four, we could talk about, you know, limit media exposure. As I mentioned many times, we really got to take into consideration how much media that we're consuming, especially if, you know, it makes us feel inadequate or we're comparing ourselves to other unrealistic beauty expectations, right? So choose, you know, portrays of that are diverse and that authentic to people's bodies that, you know, are real. And overall, like I said, just try your best to kind of just get away from the media and just kind of balance, have that self, you know, awareness and that self-acceptance of yourself, and just, you know, do what you gotta do on a productive note. But this point, we're gonna be talking about therapy or support groups. I think it's really important for us to have deep discussion if we're having these emotions that are repetitive, or we just want to have some more understanding or meaning, or just, you know, get some more information of what's going on in regards to our, you know, body image. Seeking a therapy, you know, therapists can really be able to help us develop some tools to transform those negative beliefs, those negative thoughts, to conducive ones for our lives, for ourselves, right? Support groups of body image workshops can be able to help, you know, offer a sense of connection and shared experiences as well. So when it comes to research insights, we learned that therapeutic interventions in regards to that CBT has been shown to help individuals reframe negative beliefs about their bodies and develop healthier self-image patterns, right? So overall, we learned so much. I really want us to take into consideration in regards to these long-term body suggestions in regards to these habits that we can really be able to do to help our, you know, body image, so we look at ourselves in regards to the minds and so many things that are going on. But there's so many positive things that we can do that's going to break the negativity in regards to our body image, to be able to have a lifelong of worthiness of how we feel about ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, how we look at ourselves, and how we feel, and breaking, like I said, those unreal expectations in regards to what other people got going on and those beauty standards. So we have our own standard, we have our self-compassion, we have our tools, we have our techniques, and by using them, we'll be able to navigate through and have a lifelong feeling of just beautiness inside and the outside. So if you found this video was beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share if possible, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed. Take it easy.